In this lesson, we are going to focus on the importance of respecting and encouraging diversity in open source software. While the word open appears in open source software, it doesn't mean there is always a friendly and welcoming environment. Badly managed projects can violate this rule, and sometimes closed-minded people can be involved in an open source project. There are many kinds of diversity that we can talk about, such as race, national origin, sex and gender identity, geographical and language issues, as well as just acceptance of different opinions, religious beliefs, political views, and methods and opinions about how projects should be worked on. While it's just generally the right thing to do to accept contributions from many places and encourage diversity, it also leads to a better and stronger product. Software engineering and the computer industry in general has been dominated by men, in particular white men, for a very long time, so one has to be careful to not perpetuate this. While there have been many cases of unwelcome behavior at high-tech conferences over time, the Linux Foundation has a very stringent policy against this and dealing with it. Conference speakers should avoid various kinds of behavior which, even if accidental, are offensive to people. And any kind of misogynistic, homophobic, racist statements, etc. in mailing lists, discussion groups should be promptly beaten down and reported to moderators and senior members of a community. Obviously, one shouldn't discriminate based on race and national origin, but sometimes this discrimination takes more subtle forms. For example, there can be language differences based on the fact that for some people English is a second language and other people are quite comfortable with it. Even if English is your native language, the same words can have different meanings in different regions, such as the United States, India, Great Britain, etc. So we should choose words with some care and try to avoid excessive use of idioms that will not be understood. Some projects do a lot of localization and internationalization, including translation. Other projects really just don't have the bandwidth or interest in doing that. Criticism and discussion should be done politely as possible. One should avoid using any kind of nasty language, much less obscenity. However, if you are criticized strongly, you should avoid responding in kind. You should turn the other cheek, develop a thicker skin, and pay attention to the content and not exactly how it's delivered. Once again, if it gets unbearable, it should be dealt with by senior members of a group rather than taking the bait of trolls. Religion and politics generally should be off topic in most groups. However, occasionally it's impossible to eliminate completely, especially since questions of freedom of expression, etc. will tend to come up in open source software. But one should be careful, once again, to be respectful and avoid off-topic political discussions. And almost always any discussion of religion is just simply not sensible. People have different opinions. One should be able to listen to other opinions, not be harsh about them. You should be able to divide work amongst different groups or individuals and be able to merge it later, accept it, take revisions, etc. Occasionally, somebody may want to do something in a different way from your approach, and even if you think yours is better, if it does not prevail, you will need to accept the other approach and maybe work to improve it. You just cannot be too wedded to your approach. If there's more debate and more opinions expressed, a better project can be built. So that's just a few comments about why it's important to respect and encourage diversity in open source software.